Food, the essence of being for many creatures, myself included. Food comes in many shapes and forms, of which one of the most familiar being the burger. No matter your dietary concerns, burgers can always satiate the need for food. Whether it be a simple hamburger, a juicy chicken burger, a slightly smelly fish burger, or even the meatless substitute burgers, there is always a burger for someone to enjoy. In Project Zomboid, you are tasked with surviving one of the most grueling and tenuous situations. Today is no different. We will be following our man for this video, Emmanuel Chief. Before the zombie apocalypse started, Chief was once a humble and upcoming chef, starting from the lows of flipping burgers to just barely stepping onto the scene of culinary excellence. All his dreams were crushed the moment the apocalypse started. If there was no one to enjoy the food that Chief threw his life being into creating, then why be alive at all? Of course, there is no chance of civilization coming back to enjoy the works of Chief, but one last time, Chief wished to make anyone happy with his cooking. We awaken in our room in the morning. We have our backpack on and we are ready for our day. In the kitchen, we find bell peppers and a yogurt that we have saved for this morning's breakfast. Of course, Emmanuel checks the drawers to confirm the stocks and check for any ingredients we might have. As today, we are making burgers. Breakfast is essential for a good day. This is what Emmanuel believes, and as he is a culinary expert, I am inclined to believe him. We begin our venture, surely an action-packed and thrill-full errand day it will be, as the apocalypse surely is not normal. Emmanuel begins by heading to the road so he can get to the next place he has in mind for the ingredients he needs. This is when the first reanimated appears. For Emmanuel, this was nothing. He even got a watch out of it. Lucky him. He could now tell what time it was. As he got closer to the next location, something caught his eye. More living dead. There were two. Could Emmanuel take them on? There was only one way to find out. As Emmanuel fought for his life, it seemed to all be going good. He was struck by one of the zombies, pain rushing down his spine and back through his fingertips. After the kerfuffle, Emmanuel could begin to find his way into the house. After trying all the doors and windows, he went back to try the first one. What a silly boy. He made his way to the fridge and counters where he stored his fresh food so it wouldn't spoil. After looking through all the counters, he decided that none of the food there was worth being in his burger. He put his ingredients back into his bag so he could be on his way. But like a true foodie, Emmanuel decided that a small snack is worth the wait. Approaching a cabin in the woods, more zombies are spotted, but they seemed a little dumb. After tipping a few of them over, he got what was coming for him. He was pushed back, causing his hat to fall. In a panic, he pushed more of the zombies over, but this ended in vain as he got bitten once again. Feeling the fear for his life and the pain of 1,000 stings, Emmanuel needed to run, so run he did. As a chef, he could never leave his hat behind, so he made a break around the cabin to where his hat had fallen off. One of the pesky zombies tried to run up on him, but Emmanuel had enough, pushing the zombie to the ground and making sure he wouldn't get back up. The other zombies must have been his friend, as they were now coming to attack the chef too. This surely would end bad for them. What a worthless venture this had turned out to be. There was nothing of use in this cabin. Heading to the next house, a man lay dormant against the wall. No chances taken, our trusty chef bashed his head in with a shovel. Another house to be looted for ingredients. Chef opened all the cupboards and then the fridge. Lettuce, a godsend to the chef. He took off to yet another house, opening the door and seeing the horrors inside. He was on edge. Like a true chef, heading to the kitchen for the wonders of food. The fridge, truly a loot box in the world of chef. Cheese, how could he be so blessed? As he only needed the food and nothing else, he set off once again to the next location. Seeing a zombie heading to where he once was, he was lucky. At the trailer park, Emmanuel tried opening all the windows like an idiot, so he tried opening the front door instead, and it was unlocked. He searched the measly kitchen in hopes of more ingredients for the wondrous burger he wished to create, but alas, he only found some uncut ham within the fridge. This surely would help him as a snack. The next trailer had nothing. How surprising. And the next one had a patty. But this had already been cooked. Surely the chef wouldn't like it. The next location had a jump scare. The chef became an unsuspecting victim of harassment and used self-defense to get out of a precarious situation. Trying to avoid unwanted attention, the chef set off again to the next set of houses. This failed as he caught the attention of a zombie. The chef headed away from the zombie to escape, but a few moments later, more zombies appeared. Afraid of being followed longer, he pulled his shovel out, ready for combat. Chef was prepared to do the worst. The zombies would not lay off, so Chef was forced to play his hand and take them all out with the swift blows. In a majestic manner, this was quite cathartic for the chef, as he had not cooked any fantastical meals in quite some time. Heading to the next house, Chef finally opened a window. Off to the kitchen, Chef was looking for some more ingredients. A fatal mistake. Chef left the window open and a zombie had followed him in. Scared for his own well-being, Chef took the shovel out and pacified the intruder, making sure they couldn't harm him. Emmanuel closed the window for safety, and it seemed like all this running around was getting tiring. He placed his perishables into the fridge for safekeeping until he would be ready to venture off some rest. Heading to bed, he slept for just a couple hours. Waking up in the middle of the night, he gathered the food he had put away for safekeeping and was on his way. Chef finds his way to the bathroom of the house where he can take the rags off his wounds. Miraculously, they've all been healed. This was also a good time to wash his clothes, as he had been in multiple fights the previous day. He also decided to wash himself. He headed to the kitchen to look for more ingredients, but there was obviously nothing worth taking. Leaving the house to go to the next ones, the chef ran through the streets. Running into a group of zombies, he took the first right towards a white house. Running through, it turned out that there was more than a few zombies. He ran upstairs and into the bathroom. He decided that his best course of action was to jump through the window to escape. Opening the window and jumping through, he managed the landing but slightly sprained his ankle. He was able to get away. He came up to the next house and entered. Feeling safe enough to find more ingredients, he checked the kitchen. Nothing. The next house had fries, the perfect side. Going on his hot streak, he went to the next house. What a grave mistake. The house was full of the undead. Scared, he couldn't even close the door. He ran as fast as he could. He managed to jump the high fence, which put some distance between him and the zombies. As he looked past the street, he found a pancake place. Perfect. Inside the pancake place, he washed himself off and looked for some bread or condiments. Luckily enough, there was a bottle of mustard and mayonnaise inside the kitchen. Could this be heaven? Pancakes that were freshly made and ready to eat. Emmanuel always says that breakfast was the most important meal of the day, and he was sticking to his words. Waffles, even better. He could taste the elegance dancing on his tongue. In a restaurant beside the pancake place, the kitchen was infested. Emmanuel likes his workspaces clean, so he disposed of the rodent as swiftly as possible. But there was another. This rodent had chomped into Emmanuel like a beast and pushed his hat off. The chef was not happy, so he battered the rodent until it was in a slumber. Quickly checking the kitchen, nothing was of use. Chef decided that a break was needed. For the past 2 days, Emmanuel Chef had been keeping himself alive. Also, he could experience his own cooking. The chef thought to himself that maybe being alive to cook for others is not what being a chef is all about. After his reflecting, the chef headed off to the next restaurant, sure to have ingredients he needed. A wondrous find. Bread. A bakery was sure to have bread. The final ingredient for his burger. Trying to pry the doors open and the windows, it was no use. They were all locked. Coming up to the back entrance, the chef spotted a few zombies. The chef ran across the street to the next restaurant. Inside, there was burger meat. Now, his burger would taste like his own food. Feeling confident in the final stretch, the chef plowed through the 2 zombies that separated him from his ecstasy. It was easy as slicing through a cake for the chef. Now that he knew that the building was locked, he intended to smash through the window. Once inside the store, the chef began to rummage for bread. And there it was. He found some fresh bread inside the bakery. All that was left was to make the burger. Of course, he would need to slice the bread first, which he did. Then he needed to cook the raw meat to perfection for a meal of his liking. He placed it in the oven to cook, and once it was ready, he took it out. He then prepared his burger. Obviously, The chef would not eat at a time like this. It was late, and he was in a store. He needed a change of scenery for such a delicate meal. The zombies must have been able to smell such a delicious burger, as one had snuck up behind Emmanuel. He disposed of the zombie quickly. He stumbled across a house which had been burned down. If he was lucky, the bed could still be intact. As he went up the stairs, he had a good feeling, as if this was meant to be. He rounded the corner and entered the bedroom. There it was, a perfectly good bed to sleep on until the morning. When he awoke, he traveled down the stairs to the lawn. Some uninvited guests appeared, but this did not bother Emmanuel, as he would eat his burger no matter what. Swiftly defeating the zombie, he went back to the front lawn. He sat down, opened a can of pop, ate his fries, and enjoyed his burger. The feeling of delight and peace cannot be described in any other way than seeing Emmanuel now at the end of his journey. Food is a special thing in our world that connects people together through love, community, and culture. This is what Emmanuel Chef lives for. It is not simply to cook for others, but to masterfully make food that transcends filling a belly. Hello, this is the first video that I've made. I hope it was good enough for your liking. I'm sure that any videos I decide to make in the future will be of higher quality. I would ask if you could like or subscribe or even share my video in any way that you'd like. Thank you, and I will see you again.